Women are listing tons of guys that they've obsessed over. Jack Black, Stanley Tucci, Tom Hiddleston, Benedict Cumberbatch, BTS, Garrus from Mass Effect, that he was in there.
There was an article published just yesterday with a study on incel behavior that ties directly into this, so let's go. Now, for the most part, this study just confirms what we've seen in other studies on incels, that they have lower self-esteem, that they report lower self-perceived values of themselves as partners, but also report lower standards for the partners that they are seeking. Now, they also report more interpersonal and external barriers to them being successful, such as they're not good looking, they struggle with anxiety and awkwardness, they're not good at flirting, but that other people are not looking for long-term relationships and in general are too picky in their standards. And when we look at those standards, that's where things get interesting and ties back to this creator's point. The study asked both men and women to rate how important particular traits are to women in their partners. They then lined those scores up to see how well men could accurately predict how important these traits are to women. And what they found was all men overestimated how important financial stability and attractiveness was to women. But more importantly, they drastically underestimate the value that women place on traits like kindness, emotional maturity, and loyalty in a potential partner, with incels underestimating the importance of these values even more, which, as the study itself points out, goes against the large body of evidence that repeatedly shows that kindness, loyalty, empathy, and sense of humor are the key traits that women value the most. Which, as Cy points out, is backed up by the kind of men that women obsess over. Your Pedro Pascal, your Jack Black, your Benedict Cumberbatch, and yes, even Garrus and his endless calibrations. Meanwhile, these alpha podcast bros are not only not obsessed over by women, but the majority of them are terminally single and struggle to maintain a long-term relationship. Overall, this study adds to the body of evidence that shows there are three main issues standing in the way of incels being successful in relationships: their perceived lack of social skills and awkwardness, their increased perception of victimhood due to barriers they believe are impossible to overcome, and then finally, their greater sense of misogyny that causes them to view women as dishonest and deceitful. And if these heterosexual men really are serious about changing their situation, it's important they start listening to the data and studies on this. Or better yet, listen to women.